Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is, we have 8 of Cups and we have 3 of Cups. Six of Cups. Four of Cups. How many more cups are we gonna get? Okay. Two of Swords. Going from 8 of Cups into 3 of Cups feels like, it feels like I was trying to connect with something and the connection wasn't there. 3 of Cups feels like the place one goes to feel that sense of connection, even like a familiar place because it's connected with the 6 of Cups. And then having 4 of Cups be sort of drawn back in, this can be getting drawn back into a bit of a past situation here. Then having 2 of Cups and not 2 of Cups, having 2 of Swords and then having 4 of Wands can be something that needs to be figured out in order for... It's like trying to figure out where am I supposed to go, or what am I supposed to do, or where am I going to find that sort of this is what I've been looking for, or things feel good like this, or at least there's that sense of stability there. I am seeing a breakthrough that's happening because we have the Ace of Swords here. So 8 of Cups feels like I'm trying to connect. I want to connect. I don't feel like this is necessarily that for me because 8 of Cups can be the feeling of a lack of connection. I'm trying to plug into this. I don't really feel like I'm getting that connection from this. So moving from there into 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups is where we feel that sense of connection. 3 of Cups is where we feel seen, we feel understood, we feel like we're all on the same page. So there can be a migration that's happening from, I'm not getting the connection that I want here within the 8 of Cups. 3 of Cups is where I find that sense of connection, where I feel like I'm not on my own. Like I see 3 of Cups as being the opposite of a lonely energy, where when we're in 8 of Cups, there can be this, I'm not feeling connected to this. 3 of Cups is going to be that I feel like I'm plugged back in. Having 6 of Cups there, this can be something that you know sort of connects you, but then having 4 of Cups, I'm wondering if Four of Cups can be when we're feeling kind of blah about something, or when we're pushing something away, or when we don't want to accept it in, or we can feel like not particularly motivated as well, because I'm seeing 4 of Cups be connected with Knight of Wands, and Knight of Wands is the part of us that's like, yeah, I'm here, I'm inspired, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna figure things out, I'm gonna rush ahead. But 4 of Cups can be the gas that's missing to motivate that energy. Eight of Cups can be this feeling of something here is broken or something here is not working, something here is missing. There's a feeling of this lacks a sense of completion or a fullness, or it doesn't really like come full circle totally for me. Like it doesn't complete itself. Having Knight of Wands feels like the part of you that comes online and is like, well, if we want to take care of this, you're going to need me here. Knight of Wands is that part of you that's brave, kind of rambunctious, ready to go out and search for what you're looking for. If this situation is broken, how do you find something, go towards something that you feel like is the situation that you're looking for and does carry that feeling and that ability to plug in because that's what's resonating with you. This isn't resonating with you, and there's a part of you that's like, well, I'm gonna find what that is then when we have the Knight of Wands. But I'm also looking at Two of Swords and I'm looking at Four of Cups, and so this can be a repetitive motion of going back into something but then sort of coming out with the same results again and again. So I wonder if there's something that's not really working, and then there's the like I'm trying to go back into something familiar to me. But then having Three of Cups and having Six of Cups feels like in the past there was this sense of connection, and in the past I felt seen, and this brings up nostalgic memories and emotions and feelings for me. But then having that Four of Cups feels like I don't know if it's totally doing that. This can be sort of an old dynamic or an old situation, an old relationship that in the past there was that sense of connection, but now presently with the Four of Cups can be maybe not so much anymore. Making a choice, seeing what needs to be seen. Having this Ace of Swords here and this Knight of Wands can be the motivation to go in the direction of what you want. The thing about the way that the Four of Cups comes out though is that it faces the Six of Cups. So I wonder if this is like going back into something old, going back into something familiar, or even too when you're feeling less in the mood to explore, less motivated to explore, it can be going back into a sense of nostalgia. Eight of Cups and Two of Swords can be I'm not admitting to myself that this isn't working, or that I'm not happy, or I'm not fully seeing it yet for some reason. I wonder if this is because of the used to energy. Because Two of Swords it kind of feels like one of those times where you know the truth, but it may be something that you're not really ready to admit to yourself, because then you're going to have to do something about it. With Eight of Cups, Two of Swords, and King of Wands. If I recognize that this isn't resonating with me and I really admit that to myself, which I feel like that kind of is there already. Two of Swords can be, maybe I'm seeing that, but I just haven't done anything about it. Yeah, like I haven't decided anything. I'm seeing that this situation is the Eight of Cups for me. I'm seeing that I can't really plug into this, or that I'm not really feeling connected, or there's a lack of passion there, or I'm not feeling very happy with this. And Eight of Cups is like I haven't been for a while. This isn't just like today you made me mad and now I want to leave. This is more so with the Eight of Cups, like this isn't working. And I don't feel at peace with this because I know in my heart that this is not working. Having Two of Swords can be, but I'm not doing anything about it. And I'm also having a hard time even admitting this to myself. And so there's a delay of action. Action is not being taken. And this can be too, like I'm unhappy with the way that things are, but I'm not doing anything about it. A plan planning, organizing, saying what are my options as far as the next steps that I can be taking. But then I'm seeing Hermit wanting to come out reversed. So what this means is that, like, instead of spending time thinking about this and reflecting on this and figuring out what to do, this can be an avoidance of thinking about it. This can be like, I actually want to run away from thinking about this so then I don't have to do anything about it, but then the situation stays the same. A lack of thinking, a lack of planning, a lack of figuring out. And this, I really do get the sense when we have Hermit coming out reverse, this can be, I don't want to admit this to myself, and so I'm doing everything to avoid having to see this for what it really is. And can be one of those times where it's like, I don't want to know the truth. I don't want to see that. Even though that also doesn't change it, but you can feel that resistance. But you know that it's not going to go away. Yeah, I get this again, like not wanting to do something about this, and this can be where the lack of action is coming from. Because this feels like continuing to go back into something familiar, even though there is it's like the same thing. Yeah, all of the cards are pointing to situation isn't working, but haven't done something about it yet for reasons XYZ. There could be a plan made to allow things to come together. But there can also be, when we have Six of Cups and Ace of Swords, this can be breaking out of what things were, or even putting a film over the lens so you can actually see things clearly. But Hermit is going to be what allows that to happen, because if Hermit stays reversed, this will be like, I'm avoiding thinking about it and I'm avoiding tuning in, and I don't really want to think too hard about it, because then I'm going to know the truth, even though you already know the truth within you, because this is a conflict now. This is something that is trying to be worked out, but there can be a resistance to doing that because of then what that would mean, what would need to happen then. So having that Four of Cups and having the Knight of Wands is like, I don't want to take action. I don't want to do this, and figuring out like what's going on. Where's the resistance? Why is nothing happening? And it's because of that not fully admitting. Because you may not want it to be like that. You may not want to have to accept that, even though that's what's occurring. And I'm seeing Death card on the bottom of the deck, so this can mean like actually a really big transition and change is needed here. But there can be like a really big resistance to this, because Death card can be like, you're gonna have to surrender, you're gonna have to change, you're gonna have to let things evolve. There can be stuff that you're holding on to that, even though it's not something that's in resonance anymore, it's still at least something to grasp onto. And then what's that going to mean if you have to surrender that? So this can just be a really big psychological resistance at the end of the day. Because Death card is saying, okay, you want an upgraded situation. I need you to hand that over so you can go into the next cycle that is in resonance with you, or you're just going to keep this thing that isn't in resonance with you, and you're going to keep that same situation. It'll stay exactly like that. And as much as you want, like maybe running away or avoiding recognizing that, you'll still feel it. And that's not going to change. So you're going to need to hand this over if that's what you want. But there can be a really big resistance. I'm seeing Virgo here, and I'm also seeing Scorpio on the bottom of the deck. It feels too like there may be a lack of stability and a lack of harmony, which you are able to establish, but not by doing nothing. Something needs to be done here. Like change needs to be initiated, action needs to be taken in order for the change to happen. And a pondering about what to do. I feel like letting go of the past is the thing that feels most difficult, just because Four of Cups looks like it keeps, like it's running towards Six of Cups. Like, I just want to run into the past, or I want to run into, it's like you're having, something is reminding you that things aren't working presently, and you're like, okay, I'm going to turn that off and go into that time like 6 years ago when it was working, that I was happy with that, and sort of like lose yourself into the nostalgia. It feels like one of those things where this may be your way of trying to work with the energy, even though it doesn't change how things are presently, because Eight of Cups is showing this really isn't working, and it's not just magically going to start working. Like, this is a situation that feels very finished. Like it can't sort of hold the connection anymore. But that part that's still holding on is like, okay, instead of seeing that presently, I'm going to zap into a past moment where things were still working and it was okay, so I can avoid the present moment here. And that's what's not allowing things to be recognized presently. And if things are not recognized presently, nothing can be done about it. But now at this point, it feels like getting closer and closer, and maybe more and more ready to take action, to initiate, because we're seeing Two of Swords go into, moving into Ace of Swords, which means that there is going to be a, okay, now I'm seeing it. And then having Knight of Wands is, well, now that I'm seeing things clearly, I'm able to then do something about this. And I'm getting ready, I'm figuring out a plan so I can do something now in order to reconcile this, because I don't want to be harboring this conflict anymore. I want to resolve it now, because this feeling isn't going away, and I want to do something about it. Even though you can be like, I didn't want to have to do this, I don't want to have to do this, but I need to. So I'm not saying that this is an ideal situation. This is something where you can look at Eight of Cups and be like, I want it to work. I'm upset that it doesn't. I wish that it did. Also, though, I need to accept what this is presently so I can do something about it. So I don't have to remain in this cycle anymore, because I don't want to be in this cycle anymore. Like, I've had my fill of it, and I don't want to be in this cycle anymore. So something is going to need to happen now. I'm going to need to do something. And it is all on you, because I'm seeing Knight of Wands and King of Wands. This means that if something is going to change, it's going to have to be you that takes action here. And now you can see what's been getting in the way of you moving forward, of what's been getting in the way of you releasing what is now obsolete. releasing what is no longer in alignment. Because that Eight of Cups, it doesn't hold value presently. It can have meant something in the past for sure, and was that thing for you in the past for sure. But now if you look at it presently without that nostalgic lens, you can say, this doesn't hold that value for me anymore. It's different now. And in accepting that, it allows you to see what you need to see and then do what needs to be done here. But there can definitely be a reflex of wanting to run back into what's familiar, but then you keep getting the same result again and again. Like, it's not changing. It's like the underlying theme. And it can be something that, like, it feels like it could shift a little bit, and then it's the same thing again and again and again and again. It's just the old energy that keeps repeating itself. It kind of feels like being on a merry-go-round, and like from the starting point, you start going around, and when you're that like 180 degrees away, you can be like, wow, I'm so far away from like where I was before that it almost looks like it's going to be a different cycle, but then it loops right back around because it just goes in a circle the whole time. And you're like, I'm here again. It feels like that. Like just being on the same track over and over again. And that Death card is going to be the answer to it, which is going to be that surrendering ultimately to the truth and getting yourself prepared and ready for that. Because the reason that we resist the Death card is because we can feel like, I'm not ready for that change, or I'm not ready for that transition, or I don't want it to be like this. And then we stay in that same loop again and again. And that feeling of staying in the same loop again and again, and it's just the same thing over and over again. And this will allow for things to change. But there can also be a feeling of comfort in the familiarity. Like, this is what I know. And so even though I don't feel particularly happy with this, this feels familiar to me. And then I'm resisting that intimidating change that would need to happen, that it's my responsibility to initiate. But coming from a place of division within, rather than a place of congruence. Like, this comes from a place of resistance, resisting the flow of things, and that's why you're left feeling the way that you're feeling. And this is basically the like mental conflict that's being worked out. But really, like, looking at this and saying this is a problem and I have to problem solve here, that can be what feels discouraging. Like, I have to do something about this. But being in a place, like, all you have to do is just look at this as what it is presently, and you will see all you need to see. That's really all that's needed to recognize. And then things will unfold from there, but that's definitely the first step here. All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.